You're listening to the Beans and Dice podcast, a podcast about how we game.
I just tested the audio on the computer. We're working.
Hopefully no feedback.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year. We'll take it from the top.
Welcome to the Beans and Dice podcast. I'm Carlos.
I'm Rob.
And it's a new year, and it's not a new me. Same guy.
No, same old you.
Same guy.
Yeah. I'm same old me, I think, too. As I was saying before I was audible, tonight's main topic, the main thing we're going to chat about is games that you've played and games that you've acquired over the holidays. We both had some chances to do some gaming over the last couple of weeks while we weren't doing anything live. We took a couple weeks off just to do family stuff and celebrate the holidays, New Year's and the Christmas break. And but we did not stop gaming, and I was just commenting that I did probably about as much gaming over the last 2 weeks as I've done almost any 2-week span throughout the year. So I had that opportunity, had some time off work, and I know you and I got together several times. I did some gaming with the family. I got the kids gaming, so that was a good thing. I acquired some new games specifically with that in mind, and so it's been a couple of the games we're going to talk about here in a minute have already been a hit at my house. You mentioned that our social circles are what did you call them? Our
social bubble.
Social bubble. That's
Rob.
It.
You're a part of Robert. You're a part of my social bubble.
Am I? I'm pleased to be part of your social bubble. So
I know we've had some comments on this chats before about us and how we don't wear masks. Robert and I have known each other, and we're practically family at this point.
Sure.
As Puerto Ricans, once we know you a certain number of years,
it's automatic.
You become a cousin.
Yeah.
We call you primo.
Okay.
And once you're primo, you're family.
All right.
But Robert is my social bubble. He is his family and my family are families that do things together.
Yep.
And to me, that it's important to have mental and emotional health.
Right.
So we spend so much time together. Mm-hmm. For me, the mask is something I do outside the house with groups that I don't know.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
So for you, I'm not going to wear one.
Yep, same thing. And we've limited our contact, my family, but we both have 3 kids who are really similar in ages, all I think within like a year of each other. So the kids really get along and play well. And it's about our kids. I know at least on my side, it's about the only kids my kids play with are coming over and playing with your kids. So
right, and that's the only pretty much it for my kids when it comes to playing with others. But they need that.
Oh, sure.
So we, as kids, spend time playing with each other.
Big kids. Yeah.
Well, playing games together.
Oh, okay, yeah. Put it correctly. Yeah.
This holidays, Robert and I played some games together this holiday.
Absolutely, yeah. So we'll, again, if you would like to call in, go ahead and call in. We'll discuss any topics that you might want to talk about, any games or anything. Our main discussion today, again, is going to be about games we've acquired and games that we've played over the last couple of weeks over the holidays. But certainly if you want to call in and talk about something different, we're open to talking about whatever. So call in, fill up those lines if you can. Or that line.
Because you snitched on me, man. It sounded so good when I said,
time, the lines.
Hey, the lines are open. And you were all like, I listened to that a few times. I watched it a few times. You snitched on.
Nope. One line.
Robert's like, I cannot tell a lie.
Absolutely. We have one phone line. But again, I thought that was important because if you call and it's busy, it's because we just have the one line.
Yeah, I don't have the delay on, by the way, too. So it's only a few seconds delayed, thanks because of the inner streams, YouTubes, and all that stuff. So if you see that we're on the phone with somebody, then you know that if you call, you're not going to get through.
Yeah.
So just kind of wait till that call drops and then redial, and you should be the next one because it is not a busy line. We get maybe 2 or 3 calls a show.
Yep. Should be able to get right on through.
But I figure now that we're starting the new year, we've done this a couple of 3 times now, and we found a pretty good system to it. My hope is that you and I, or even me solo, will get this going every Thursday, 9 o'clock, on a regular cadence.
Regular thing.
Because I want to start hearing, like we have for the last 2 shows, from other people in other places that are outside of our group, our game group, because we see our game group. And don't get me wrong, game group, I want you to call in because I love talking to you guys and ladies. But I want to hear from other people who are new to the show, don't even play games in this area, or haven't even gamed with us in person. Well, I want to hear about what your tastes are. What games are you into, or what are your thoughts on our topics? Tell me why I'm wrong.
Yeah,
well, we can do Carlos, you're crazy.
Do that all day. Yeah. But all right, well, let me jump in. I'm going to start talking about a couple of games that I picked up over the holidays. I didn't get a whole lot of games. I've seen some hauls online that people have been posting on Facebook, etc., from our game circle as well as other game circles. But mine pales by comparison. But I did pick up, I've got 5 games that I made a list of here that I picked up over the last couple of weeks. Starting with a game that was targeted towards my family. I have 2 teenage kids, a boy and a girl, and then my youngest is an 8-year-old boy. But with the older 2 kids, my wife does not game. I'll be clear on that. She's got a competitive problem, so she doesn't game well. So.
I've witnessed that.
Right. When she loses, she's not a happy loser. So, but in any case, we acknowledge that, and I've given up on trying to convert her to a gamer. But I picked up the game My City, which is I guess it's a legacy game because you are altering the game as you go. It's a fairly light legacy game. It's played, I believe, over 24 sessions, and I've got it up on the BGG here. It's got a 7.8 rating, which is actually a pretty strong rating. It plays 2 to 4 players. Each of the 24 sessions that you play is 30 minutes long, so they're each about a 30-minute, 20 to 30-minute session. And it's basically what we call a...
Let me jump in. I want to say I've got the lines open now, so I just opened them up. I just got it fixed. So
okay.
Keep going.
So the lines were
So if you were
closed
trying, I was trying to figure out how to get this thing open, and we are now open. So please call in 813-618-7099. I just confirmed it's officially open.
Okay.
So tell me, Rob, about the family games you're into.
And on BGG here again, we've got it's My City. So there we go. We can get some visual. It says ages 10 and up, and I find that that's probably pretty accurate. My 8-year-old is probably just a little on the young side to play. It says weight is a 2.13, which is probably about right. That's it's below average weight, so it's a little bit on the lighter side of a game. But again, it's described here as a legacy game. I'm going to pull it up here. Hopefully, I don't assume there'd be any kind of spoilers on BGG. But you play these 24 sessions, 20 to 30-minute sessions. And as you play through these sessions, some of the rules will change. And it's, again, it's a tile placing, what we call polyominoes, these little tiles that are these little buildings that come, at least in the initial group of components that you get. And you've got a deck of cards, and there's one card for each one of the different tiles. And so basically, you have a board in front of you that has some rules about how you score at the end of the game and how you place, how you're some rules about how you're able to place the.
I'm going to interrupt you here. We got a call coming in,
Awesome.
so let's answer this call and see who's on the line. Hello, caller. This is Beans and Dice Podcast. State your name and where you're calling from.
Hey, this is Alex from Tampa.
Hey, Alex.
Hey, Alex.
How you doing,
what's up,
Bobby?
guys? How's it going?
Good.
Oh, we had a great Christmas. How about you?
Doing all right. Good Christmas. Kids got seriously loaded up.
Oh, sweet. By you or by family?
By everyone.
By everyone. Oh, good.
You know how everybody is with everything. They just keep on mailing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Stuff just keeps coming
Sorry.
in. Yeah. Yep. No, you're good.
It's okay, folks. It is a live show, so things happen.
Yep.
So what'd you get, or what happened with the Del Rosarios regarding gaming over the holiday?
So Celeste, that's my 8-year-old daughter. She is very much into cats.
Oh, okay.
So there is a cat board game. It's basically Pictionary, but with cats.
Okay.
I don't have daughters, Alex, so none of this is making sense. It does not compute.
Yeah. So you're drawing cats, or what?
That's literally what you're doing. It has a dry erase board, and they have little cutouts of cats in like funny or weird positions, and then you have a card where it gives you a topic where you have to draw it, and then the other person has to guess what the thing is.
Okay. What's the name of the game again?
The cat game. It literally is called
the cat game. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can pull it up here.
See, here I thought you were losing your mind and forgetting the name of stuff.
That cat game.
No, it's literally called the cat game. I'll send you a text with the photo of it.
No, Robert's going to pull it up on Board Game Geek right now.
Actually, I've got it right here on Board Game Geek. So I've got. Let me jump back here. You can go ahead and keep telling us about it, but I'm going to scroll through some images.
I got to ask though, Alex, is that true cat fur on the box?
Yes, that is true cat fur on the box. It looks like it is cat fur. It feels like it is cat fur.
How many cats were killed in the making of this game?
That's creepy, man. That's the first thing I saw in the box.
I don't know if it says PETA approved on it for sure.
That's a little scary, but we'll go with it. Yeah.
All right, so is it worth it though? I mean, because so many of these games are coming out now. These games just trying to make a buck off a gimmick or something. What'd you think, Alex?
The buck off a gimmick, but either way, it's pretty funny if you look at it because the cats are in pretty funny poses, and as you can see, I guess the topic was Abe Lincoln, so he drew Abe Lincoln on a cat.
Okay.
Oh, I see. You get these stickers with cats on.
Lots of stickers. There's cats playing golf on here. Yeah,
it's a cat meme.
Exactly.
You're like making cat memes.
Oh, okay. Is that what it is?
That's the shtick.
Plexiglass that you put over the little stickers, so you just draw on the plexiglass.
Oh,
okay.
So you can reuse.
So you can reuse all these stickers. You're not disposing of them every time you draw.
DJ Kitty, right there. Is that what I say?
DJ Kitty. It looks like
DJ Kitty.
That's pretty funny.
Anything for you though, right? Anything for Daddy Gamer?
I did. I got Pandemic.
Pandemic. Nice.
Which version?
It is. Let me check which version it is. It's still in the wrapping. I haven't opened it.
Is it the original?
I believe it's. Yeah, I think it's the original version.
Vanilla Pandemic.
Well, I don't say vanilla. Yep. You make it sound bad. That's actually one of the 5 games I picked up over the holiday. I caught a 50% off sale at one of my local stores, and they had Pandemic there for $23, I think. And I've never owned a copy of the original Pandemic. I have Season 1 and Season 2 of the Legacy versions, but I've never owned original Pandemic, so I picked it up as well. So I'm going to say, Alex, good pickup.
I agree. I can't.
Thank you.
Because, Alex, I think you've played at my house, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been time.
The original one. It was before you had kids. So it had to be 10 plus years ago.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It was, yeah.
I'm not going to say anything, though, because mine's the original first edition with the wood cubes.
I was going to say, it says it came out in 2008. So, yeah, that would be, 12 years now? So
yeah.
That would be, if you played it 10 years ago, that was while it was the new hotness, I would have to say. Yeah.
Yeah, this copyright says 2013 on the box, but it was probably...
I think you've got the second edition, if we're right. We probably ended up with the second edition.
Yeah.
It's the same game, works just as well. The only difference is they went from wood to plastic.
Yeah. And the board, they modernized it a bit. I don't know if this was the second version or maybe even a newer version.
That's the first version.
Is that the first version? Okay.
Yeah, the newer version has more modern art.
Okay, yeah.
Very nice. Good pickup, man. Well, I'm hoping to see you out here soon. To come visit. I know that Blood Bowl 2nd Edition has just come out, and you played Blood Bowl with us online when we were doing most of our gaming online. So I'm hoping to see you out for that.
Yeah, for sure. Just have to plan something sometime soon.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you calling.
Hey, no problem, man.
Happy Three Kings Day, man. Bye.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, good to hear from Alex.
It's you hardly ever do hear about some of the basic games that I think are just standard to everyone's library, and then someone being excited about picking that up.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say. That was on my list, and that was going to be one of my things. I was going to mention how I went back to picked up a classic game, and again, it wasn't a game that I was looking for, but I went out during one of these holiday sales, and like I say, it was 50% off, and I said $23. Actually, it may have even been a little cheaper than that, and so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna pick that up. And I know you and I had played in the Pandemic. Actually, we played in 2 or 3 elimination tournaments now of Pandemic, and we've had a good time with that. And we've always mentioned it'd be nice to have another copy, because you've had a copy for a long time, but it'd be nice to have another copy to practice with, or to mix things up with a little bit. So
even play virtually, because I know that's something we can do is one person controls one deck, the other person controls the other deck.
Yep. And
then we both have our own boards to indicate where everything's at.
Yep.
We just tell you what cards you drew, and then you pull them from that deck, and it's a way to play virtually as well. It's a good classic game.
Yep.
Glad to hear that people are still getting out there. I think it's going to be an evergreen game for a long time to come.
Yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, it's here to stay. I think for sure. It's been.
I did see My City at Zeno's. Zeno had it.
Oh, did he? So he's picked up a copy too. Yeah.
They had not yet played it.
Okay.
So tell me more about My City.
Yeah, a little bit more. So yeah, I'll be brief because we got other games to go over. But again,
the line is open, folks. 813-618-7099. 813-618-7099. Give us a call.
And My City starts out like the first, you play it in episodes of 3 games. And so I don't know if you can see on the envelopes that are here on screen, there's a series of envelopes that you open that are going to change the rules of the game. There's some stickers that you're going to put on your board that permanently alter your board. It's going to change the scoring conditions of how you get points from game to game. And so you play 3 games, 3 episodes with basically one set of rules. And then once you've done that 3 times, there's some small changes in those 3.
I think you hear a call coming in.
Call, yeah, go ahead.
All right, let's give it a... Hello, caller. State your name, where you're calling from.
Hey, guys. It's Patrick from Temple Terrace.
Hey, Patrick.
Well, hello, Patrick from Temple Terrace.
I ran into Patrick just a couple days ago.
Yeah, right. Yeah, when you were picking up My City, right?
That was it. I picked up My City over at Armada, so the game I'm talking about right now. And you were in there.
Yeah.
You picked up the holiday version of Patchwork, if I recall. Is that correct?
It was the Americana version.
Americana version. Okay. I'm sorry.
I picked that one up too. The 4th of July, my son being born 4th of July.
Yeah, that's a good.
That was a must pick up for me.
Yeah. And you got a steal on that if you reminded me the copy, that version, which I believe is pretty identical to the regular version, you got for it was like $10 or $12 less than the regular version.
Exactly. It was kind of crazy, and I was like, oh, I'm going to scoop that up real quick.
For sure. Yeah, that's a good game.
And,
you got a chance to break that one in yet with the family, or?
Oh yeah. Lily and I have played it. We've played it twice, sweetheart. Yeah, so twice. So we played it twice.
That's your daughter, yeah.
And, yeah, she beat me the first time. She actually did pretty well.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's not too hard to pick up. I just found it very intuitive.
Yeah.
Especially with the selection, limiting you to so many tiles from the marker just makes it easy to grasp.
I'll pull it up here.
Great game to teach.
Talk. Yep.
What I noticed is one thing is that you do best when you're leveraging your position against your opponents. Not necessarily always going past them on the first turn, but always trying to at least get at least 2 turns if you're behind them or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. It's the efficiency of trying to get a couple of actions before you give up and that's one I forgot about that with Patchwork. One of the things is the player who's going is the player who's behind, and you're going to keep going until you're no longer behind.
So you can get
so
multiple
you take
turns.
a multiple smaller patches, right? Patches,
right?
And fill up more spaces before you give up that initiative,
right? And it is a 2-player. Just to point out real quick, it's a 2-player only game, so it is a head-to-head game by Uwe Rosenberg, a highly regarded designer of games. But go ahead and tell us some more about it.
Oh, I was going to say, leveraging your position, especially when you're coming up on those little tiny one-piece squares on the time board.
Right. Yep, absolutely.
Oh, I hate it when Robert would do that. He did that so well. I think I'd play a few matches against Robert and not get a single one of the leather patches.
Yep.
What else we picked up? I picked up Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion after Christmas, and that's something that my wife and I have been going through. We've only played 2 of the scenarios.
Okay.
And we're going to try and pick up the 3rd one this weekend.
Awesome.
So definitely been really enjoying that. And who doesn't? I don't know anybody who doesn't like Gloomhaven.
Oh yeah. Carlos, it wasn't a big hit for Carlos.
Oh wait, yeah, that's right. That's right.
You were enjoying Jaws of the Lion, I think.
No, Jaws of the Lion, I had a blast with.
Okay.
And I do got to say, it. I'm not saying that Jaws of the Lion is in any way dumbed down from regular Gloomhaven. I'm not. But I do feel that the way they ramped up the first 5 scenarios gave me the ability or the time to kind of get my toe in the water, warm up to it.
Oh, yeah.
And then be like, okay, I get it now.
Right.
By the time we're moving into the real missions. Because Patrick, they, as in Nick of Wesley Chapel Day, Wesley Chapel Gaming Group, shout out to you. Nick of Wesley Chapel Day dove me right in to the deep end into some real deep strategy and thought on that deck building stuff. and my themey self just couldn't do it.
Oh yeah. Well, Patrick and I discussed a little bit while we were up at the shop the other day when I bumped
That's one of my
into him.
favorite characters, the one you played, Robert.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm playing there. But we were discussing a little bit, and I was explaining Patrick had never played the full regular Gloomhaven.
Salvador.
So I was explaining to him that the Jaws of the Lion, and this has been said a million times, but it is the ultimate way to learn the game, to get into it. Regular full-blown Gloomhaven is an intimidating game, and
but the setup on this with the rule book and then $50 for all those missions, I think this is it.
Yeah.
Like, to me, like Gloomhaven, and I'm looking at Frosthaven, I'm looking at you.
Yeah.
I know Dan was putting out that his shop Your Turn is taking pre-orders for Frosthaven, and it got me thinking for a split second, this game did. But no, I didn't, because I think there's just enough game in Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion. And like, no need for me to jump into that.
I think you're unique in that. And Patrick had only played 2 of the scenarios, and he told me he was already thinking about buying the full-blown Gloomhaven. So I did explain to him that being only through 2 of the scenarios, there is still a lot to come. Those first 5 scenarios in Jaws of the Lion do ramp you up to full-blown Gloomhaven by the time you're through those 5. And I did warn him that just playing the first 2, he's only about 50% into the deep water there. So there is a lot to come still in those next 3 scenarios. But if you're down for the challenge, I mean, it's an incredible experience.
Yeah. As far as I know, Rob, you've completed the full game, right?
Yep.
And you're into the expansion pack, right?
Yep.
Is that what you said?
I got a 3-player group that I play with Nick and Joe here in the Wesley Chapel area, and we played. It took us about 2 years, almost 2 years, to play through the first the whole base game, and then we've got Forgotten Circles, which is the expansion, which I think is another potentially about 25 to 30 scenarios. We surmise that we probably had over 100 hours into the base game, and we're for the expansions, depending on, there's some forks and some branches, so you don't play every scenario. Some of them will be left out, but if we get through that, I mean, we're probably still looking at another probably 30 hours of gameplay in that. So
that's crazy.
It's a dedication.
That's value right there. That's what that is.
I agree.
That's bang for the buck.
You know, Robert, for you, my friend. Achievement. I mean, every time I got to give it to you.
Yeah.
Here's a few more. There you go.
It's what they.
Is that a Mario coin? What is that?
It's an Xbox achievement unlocked.
Oh my gosh! I haven't had an Xbox since college.
Oh yeah. But it is what they call kind of a lifestyle game. I mean, it is a game that you kind of have to commit to. And I know my group, Joe and Nick, have been awesome about playing. We obviously haven't played every week, but our goal starting out was to play once a week, play one scenario. The scenarios range from anywhere, probably from about an hour and a half to about 3 hours for some of the bigger ones. And we had been pretty religious for almost 2 years about getting those sessions in. And we had a few times where we even doubled up because we'd missed a week or two. So,
Patrick, what's your game timeout right now? Like, how long is it getting you to get through a scenario?
through 1 or 2 scenarios.
We probably finished the first 2 scenarios about an hour and a half.
Each individually?
No, all together.
Okay.
That's what I liked about Jaws of the Lion. It was in little chunk bites. What do you think?
I mean, I think that's what's definitely getting Lauren into it. You know, like this is definitely besides Terraforming Mars, this is definitely one of the heavier games she has played. And she just said, "Hey, I enjoy this." You know,
good stuff.
That's awesome, brother.
That is awesome.
I give you mad props on that.
I wish I had a wife who would sit down and play Gloomhaven with me.
Jamie, if you're listening,
mad props to you. Yeah.
Here, give her this for me. Yeah, give her one of these. There you go.
Achievement unlocked.
That's all yours. You know, actually, for gaming wife.
There you go.
Patrick, thanks for sharing, man. We're going to open this line, see all those calls. I'll see you next time we game. Thanks for calling, man.
Bud. Yeah, have a good night.
Thanks, Patrick.
Folks, I'm going to open that line back up for you. Please don't be shy. Don't be afraid to call in and talk to us. It's just a couple of
we'd rather
of guys looking forward to talking to somebody.
Then talk about our other stuff here.
Because we game a lot together. So what we do is together. I already heard his stories about Gloomhaven and his amazing group that he has and hundreds of hours. I want to hear your stories. What do you got gaming wise? And while we do that, the line is open again, 618-7099. Robert, talk to me about my city.
Yeah, I'm not going to kill it here because again, I want to wrap it up, move on to some other stuff.
No, because I want to know about my city. I'm curious.
Yeah. Well, it is fun. Just what you're seeing here is each of the player boards. Oh, we got another call.
That's awesome. Hey, I'm sorry, Rob.
Yep.
This is what we want. Hey, Beans and Dice podcast caller. State your name and where you're calling from.
Hey, it's Dave from Riverview.
My buddy Dave. Happy New Year, my friend.
How you doing, guys?
We're doing well. See, and this is what I was hoping to hear from is somebody with a different slant on gaming.
Sure.
Miniature wargaming and topics. So, Dave, hit me up with the themey wargaming goodness. What's been going on with gaming with you?
Well, I'm kind of an omni gamer, I consider myself, but I can't resist mountains of plastic and metal. So, even board games, I gravitate towards those miniature-based games, but I picked up some good miniature goodness. I got, Infinity Code 1 Operation Kaldstrom, which is their new skirmish game for the Infinity line. From
Corvus Belli. Yeah, they do some really good stuff.
Yeah, a friend of mine who had to move and downsize quickly was selling some stuff, and I got a hold of a copy of the 2-player starter set, Red Veil, which uses the same mini lines. Of course, Corvus Belli, kind of like Warhammer, and those guys, they go through rule sets, they wipe away, units are no longer valid in the next book. Supposedly they're bringing some back the old units in the next units.
Look at that, man. That is gorgeous. Robert's putting pictures up and just the minis, man. The minis always blow me away on this one.
our good buddy Ash on Guerrilla Games did a spotlight on this one time, and it has really interesting rules where you're never really done with actions when you're on defense and the other team has initiative. If somebody moves into your line of sight, you can shoot them.
Overwatch is a great mechanic.
You don't even have to do it. They're called, if I remember right, I'm just learning the system. They're called like automatic reactions. So you don't have to put somebody on Overwatch.
Oh, man.
And they're there. You get an opportunity shot. So I'm really interested in that part, that give and take where, you can try and charge the guys if you want. You're going to get 3 shots off, but he's going to get 1 in return. And, nice tight quarters. So, you're not spending a couple turns moving into position. A lot of what I like about Kill Team for Warhammer is some of the things I saw on here, minus some of the wait and see if you survive to your turn kind of thing. So,
is this an alternating actions game? So you go, I go, but not like everything you go, I go?
I take all my actions. You get an action pool based on how many minis you have alive or conscious. They don't kill everybody in this game. But when you're down, you're down. And when the next turn starts, for every downed character, they don't generate an order. So if I have a 6-person squad, when I start turn 1, I get 6 orders. I can choose to spend all 6 orders on 1 mini.
Oh, that's great.
I'm going to shoot. I'm going to move again. I'm going to shoot. And the other guys are just going to stand static. They get their AROs if somebody comes in their vicinity.
The reaction shots?
But reaction shots, yeah. It's a pod shot. It's like I think you have to roll really well. The only complaint, the part I have a hard time wrapping my head around, these use D20s, but instead of like a lot of times rolling high is good, rolling low is good. Unless you're doing an armor stream.
I struggle with that when a game does that.
I can do that.
Yeah,
Rob can roll 14,
I can roll lots of ones. Yeah.
You'll start at like a 14 shooting skill, and if they're behind cover, you're -3, and if they're far enough away, you're minus another 3, and then you're +3 if they're. I don't know. It's a little bit of math, but the part that I'm trying to that I keep tripping over is rolling low is better when you're shooting. Rolling high is good when you're saving.
Wait, they also do that? So kind of like Warhammer used to be, where some rolls you wanted low and some rolls you wanted high?
Yeah, that's what it seems like. Like I said, I haven't played. I'm still getting the minis painted. You know what I mean? I don't have great plastics or great metal, so I'm painting all my stuff up. I got one of the factions painted. The other two are base coated. And,
I want to demo this one. I do have some terrain for this.
Yeah, I think this would be awesome for a future episode of Friday Night Fights.
Yes.
They have the box came with. I'm showing the pictures. It's the older boxes came with foldable card.
That's what I have. Foldable cardstock buildings, and they're good.
We use that. We use that for Kill Team.
Me too. That's why I bought it.
Terrain for like $12.
Yep.
You know, but here they stepped it up a little bit. They're like foam.
It's like the foam.
board.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing here in the pictures. Yeah.
Insert slot 8, tab B, and all that stuff. But it was a little challenging, some of the pieces to put together, but nothing like having to put together, a huge plastic plate,
Right, because this gets someone like Robert into the game day one. Maybe his minis aren't painted, but he's got terrain ready to go. The board looks beautiful.
Exactly. This is what they call I think the guys on D6 Generation, one of the hosts calls it the Christmas morning feeling. Perfect for this episode.
Yep.
Everything you get in the box is everything you need to play.
Well,
you got dice, you got templates, you got terrain, you got a map, you got a rule set.
I will ask, and I know you're just getting into the rules on this, right? Because I went in full steam on the Kill Team thing and slowly backed away because of this feeling. And tell me if this game does this for you. In Kill Team, it feels like I'm doing a lot of shooting, a lot of actions, but I'm not pounding any damage through. There's so many saves to get through. Right. So is this a game where like, if you listen to that, you put me on to that new podcast, Battle Tome, and they talked about War Cry, how every time you do something, you're dealing some kind of damage. Where does this one lie between like War Cry and Kill Team on that spectrum?
I think it's probably that happy medium. You're not gonna take a lot of people out on your say the ARO shots. But if you're shooting 3 shots at a guy who's got 1 health, I mean, you're probably maybe a little better or a little under 50% of taking them out. This seems very fast compared to some of those. Like, if you roll well, the scenario could be over in 20 minutes. So
that's
you
awesome.
may not get. I think it caps at 4 turns too.
Oh man, that's beautiful.
Right. You get four. You get 4 total series of turns. You roll for initiative. And again, as models die, you get less activations. So
you can see momentum building
yeah, I think so.
Thanks for sharing that. I'm hoping you can bring that one over.
Yeah, I definitely want to get a test match in to make sure I don't make a fool of myself with the rules. Because like I said, I'm brand new to it. I've watched some battle reports, but as you know, a lot of those guys miss rules too. So
when you're ready to make it happen and you've got that time in the schedule, send me links to where I can do my homework so that I can read up with you and then we can chop through it together. Robert's looking across the room into the dining room, which has my game table. He can see where I built a wargaming topper for my game topper. Yeah. So it's a 4x8 topper,
topper for the topper
on top of the board game topper. With green felt covering the whole thing.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
And before we let you go, I don't know if you had anything else you wanted to bring up, but I got to bring up you definitely are going to need to teach me Anachrony soon. I know we've chatted a little bit about that on the online, but I'm dying to learn that game. I know Muhammad wants to play, so he's played once or twice, so he's familiar with the rules. But between the two of you, I need y'all to teach me.
What is Anachrony?
Yeah, I got
David, what is it?
Anachrony is. It's a heavy Euro time travel resource management / worker placement game. So it's made by David Turkey. He's Eastern European, so I probably butchered his name.
Turkey,
I got to know him online.
Oh, cool.
And I actually participated in the last round of playtesting. He sent out a SOS and asked for people to submit.
I saw that.
And me and the local group got some playtesting in to test out the leader and faction, starting powers and starting resources, and got my name in the rule book. So I was pretty happy with that.
Your name's in the rule book?
So it's in if you get the Infinity Box rules or the new Essential Edition rules, it's in both.
That's awesome.
I was pretty stoked. Yeah, it was real cool that he gave us credit like that too.
There you go, achievement for you.
Achievement unlocked.
Yeah, there you go. But no, It's a very, it's by Mind Clash, and Mind Clash puts out beautiful games that are very, I wouldn't call them heavy because you get people that say, oh, this is heavy, it's 7 point. If it's not over a 7, it's not heavy. But it's a crunchy game. Like you start out, you got a few options, and then as you go on, you start your engine building, and the resources start waning because eventually, I believe a meteor hits the Earth or something as a theme, and you're on a time crunch to get your civilization to safety. And the more stuff you can do to prepare your civilization before that happens. So it's a very thematic Euro, quote unquote. But
okay, now you got my
theme in
attention.
a Euro. You said theme. That got Carlos going.
Yeah, but if you look at the picture, it comes with a ton of cardboard, a ton of stuff. So it does look very intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
It probably takes me about a 30-minute
explain
crash course to remember what the iconography means and all that. But like most of Mind Clash's games, the way I find it is once you've been through a turn or two, everything just clicks and makes sense. And it's like, oh, well, of course that means that because, that what else could it mean? And that's the symbol for this. So it's very good. From Anachrony, Tricarion, Cerebria, they make awesome, pretty Euro games. And
I will say thank you.
Hooks me.
I'll say thank you because in this conversation alone, I went from I didn't care one bit because the box cover, that just didn't
do it for you.
No,
right.
And then Robert said he wanted to do it, so I was like, "This can't be something I would like."
Of course.
But hearing it from you, I'll take it as gospel.
Oh,
from
so
Robert,
says
I won't trust it.
I appreciate that. No, I like Euro games, but trading spice in the Mediterranean just doesn't do it for me. Learning magic and time traveling is more my niche, I think.
Put me down for a seat on that learning match when Robert gets in there.
Yeah, I'm itching to play.
All right, man. We'll do probably towards the end of the month, but we'll get it booked.
Sounds good.
Happy New Year. Hopefully we'll talk to you next week. Take care, David.
Yeah, probably. Thank you.
Well, folks, that opens our line back up. 813-618-7099. It's Robert and Carlos hanging out, just talking games. Time is flying.
Yeah,
Robert.
I was going to say, we've only got about 15 minutes left here.
Yeah, maybe one caller or two at most. Time flew, and my perspectives have changed on Anachrony.
Yeah, Anachrony's been one that I've wanted to play. Muhammad told me about that probably a couple of years ago after I think he had played for the first time. And within 10 minutes of him explaining it to me, I was all about it. So I've been wanting to learn that one for a while, but it is a big game and a big teach. He warned me of that. It's 30, 45 minutes just to teach the game. And then from what I recall, it's a good 3-4 hour long game, and it's a Euro. So I'm planning to be mentally spent by the time of that 3 or 4 hours is gone. But
and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I like me themey Euros. Brass, themey Euro.
Yeah, for sure.
Terraform Mars, themey Euro.
Okay.
My City?
My City is
themey abstract.
It's kind of a puzzle game, and so again, jumping back over here, there's you're competing at the end of the campaign. Whoever has the most of these little dots filled in on the top of their board wins the game. One of the cool things about it, I'll just kind of jump ahead here a little bit, is that the game is a legacy game, so you're altering the game board. But on the flip side of the game board, I'm not sure, I haven't looked at these pictures here on BGG. What we're seeing here is the competitive side, the legacy side of it, that you're going to alter and sticker up as you go through the game. But the flip side of the board, I'm looking here to see if there's a picture of it. There is just a standard kind of plain game board that you can use over and over and over just to play a basic version of the game. And so it is one of the few legacy games that even once you're done with it, you can continue to play it, which is always a cool thing for me. I know we played, I mentioned earlier, the Pandemics. We've played through that with a group of guys, season 1 and about half of season 2. But Pandemics, those legacy games are definitely one-shot deals. Once you play them, you're done with them. But again, just briefly, as you go through these envelopes, 3 episodes at a time, 3 sessions at a time, you're going to play a total of 24. At the end of the 24, whoever's filled in the most of the circles at the top win. But there's game-changing rules in every one of these. I understand some of these may have some new tiles. There's stickers that go on the board, areas that you want to build over, areas that you can't build over. It starts limiting where you can place these little polyominoes as you pull them out and place them. But you're just flipping this deck of cards. Every time you flip it over, everybody has an identical set of these little polyomino tiles, and you're finding that particular one that matches, and you're placing it in one of the legal places that you can place on the board. And then as you go through, you either play until all the cards are gone and everybody's played all their pieces, or there's a couple of other game-in triggers that if you can't place a piece and you choose, you can flip it over and you can take -1 point at the end of the round and continue playing. Or if you've gotten to the point where you just don't think you're going to be able to play any more of your tiles, you can flip over and pass, and then you're out for the rest of the game. And the rest of the people keep flipping cards and playing until either everyone's passed or you've gone through all the cards. And then there's an end-game scoring that happens. But it is light. Like I say, it's on the light side. It's been great for me and my teenage kids. They're both gamers. They're both fairly new to board gaming, I'd say within the last year or two. I wouldn't call them light gamers at this point. They've gotten into kind of medium weight gamers. So this one's a little light even for them, but it's been a good time. We've played the first 2 scenarios. We read the rules for scenario 3 tonight, and we're going to play that probably tomorrow night. But we're looking forward to it. It's one of the few games I've been able to kind of get them both moderately excited about when I mentioned it that they want to play. So really looking forward to playing through some more of those. But
what's the price point on that? Because when we talk about a game that requires the same group of people for a number of sessions, I start to tune out a bit. But
that's one of the great things about this game is, and actually that's something I should have mentioned because a lot of people have mentioned it. Oh, here's one here of both sides of the game board. But a lot of people have mentioned that you can pick this up for under $40. I believe the retail price is $42 or $43, maybe $45 here, US dollars. But I picked this up for $36, I believe it was, and you can pretty regularly catch it on sales and things like that for under $40. And for 24 game sessions of 20 to 30 minutes each, I think it's a great deal. And again, it's one tonight. Actually, we played right before I headed over here to do the live show. 25 minutes. Yeah. So being able to grab the kids, we ate dinner real quick tonight after I got off work. We got in a session, and then I had time to drive over here to your place to do the show tonight. And we can squeeze these in 25 minutes. And so it's
really not hard. If you got the right group, you can really get it in.
Yep. And if you wanted to sit down and blitz it in a night, you could probably play 6, 7, 8 sessions in one night and get a quarter of the way through the game in one night if you wanted to just try to knock them out. So I'm looking forward to playing more. And then it's a game that, even though there are envelopes and some surprises, even if I were to play through the whole thing and then you wanted to play it and you picked up a copy and I wanted to play in that group that's going to play, there's really no advantage to me because each session you start from zero. Everybody starts back from the beginning. And so there is no real advantage to me for knowing what's going to be in the next envelope. I know how the rules are going to change from game to game to game, but that doesn't change how I would play the game or how you would play the game. And so there's no, a little bit of the surprise factor would be gone for me. But other than that, as far as the strategy and the playing of the game, you could play this with different groups, buying new copies of the game, of course, but you could play through it several times. So
good.
Yeah, really cool.
I think, I played one, and I got one for Christmas, too, that was, a light, quick, fast game. TI4, the Prophecy expansion,
That's what I've heard. Light, quick, fast, probably plays in 20 to 30 minutes, or 20 to 30 hours, maybe.
I'll pull up some screenshots of that.
Let me pull that up. Yeah.
So I did get for Christmas Twilight Imperium, the new expansion. Let me get that name right. I always mess up that name.
It'll be
Prophecy of Kings. There we go. So I'm looking on my shelf over there and to Robert's right, your left. And I haven't even unwrapped mine, but I got to play Zeno's copy with Zeno's group. Barry and I made our way over there and played. And I was so excited to play this one, and I still am. Don't get it twisted, folks. Anything I say here, anything that sounds sad, I'm desiring to play this and will be playing it in about a week again. Because that's how much I loved it. The Prophecy of Kings expansion, what does it change from TI4? So TI4 is that 4X game, the big 8-hour extravaganza, 6 players playing different galaxies, rulers of different galaxies attacking each other to try to take the center of the galaxy and become the new king of the entire universe, right? The Galactic Emperor or something. In Prophecy of Kings, what it adds, Robert, is 2 more players. So you go from 6 to 8.
And we'll talk about that in a moment. But it may not be a good thing, from what I understand. But,
right, and then we've got mechs.
Yeah, mechs.
I mean, mechs, guys. You get mechs. So before you would take ground troops and land them on planets to take them over. Now you can bring in mechs. Mechs can sustain damage, meaning they can take 1 hit, and then they take a second hit before they're destroyed, and you can repair them at the end of a round. Right, so once everybody's completed all their actions, everybody's passed, we go to the end of the round, we can repair anything that sustained damage. So they're more survivable. They do more they hit better, and they survive more. The game will also add exploration. Right, so Robert's showing some cards here. These cards are fragments of shards. Right, so these are things that you may find as you explore planets, or as you explore this dark matter in those empty tiles, right? Tiles that have like space or an anomaly. It's going to get a tile. It's going to get a token for like this dark matter that you get to explore, but you have to have the right technology to explore that dark matter.
So it may give you an actual reason to go there, because I know in the regular game there were tiles that you never wanted to visit. Yeah,
right. But now there's this tile on there. Maybe you did the tech research to be able to research that type of dark matter. So you're going to go to all those empty spaces and draw these cards here, these cards that Robert sees here in front of him. On these planets, you're going to get the blue ones. On the green planets, you'll get that card. On the dark matter planets, you get the card to the right. The red cards are for the hazardous planets. And you get bonuses. Stuff happens, right? Like you might find, a weapons cache, right? And boom, you get to add more units to that location. Find some trade goods because there were some factories on this planet.
Exploration, yeah.
Yes. And now time. Right, because every time you take a tile now, it adds a little more time.
Yeah.
But those that choose to add the technology to explore the frontier, that dark matter stuff, they get to go out and explore all that empty space. I didn't do that, so I didn't go explore those empty spaces. And every time I went past those empty spaces, those tokens stayed there.
Okay.
But then people came behind me to scoop them up.
Suck those up, yeah.
Yep, so here's your mechs that you get added to. You can see their cost is 2 trade goods to build them. They hit on a 6. The D10 is used in combat, so it's almost a 40% chance. I'm sorry, a 60%. No, 40%. 6 up, something like that. Yeah. English is not my first language. Yeah. Neither is math.
Needs math. Yeah.
So you add the exploration to it. You add the new mechs. You add all new races that do all kind of crazy cool stuff. There's bird people.
New tiles.
Yep. Well, the new homeworlds that go along with them. They're also different.
Okay. Yeah.
And then even on top of that, you now get a new sideboard on your left. So before you had one sideboard where you put your trade goods and your commodities and your tactic and strategy and your fleet tokens. Now you have a board on your left where you add characters to your faction. So each planet, each faction, each race that you're playing has their own characters. You're going to have an agent who has a special ability that you get right from the bat. Start one, turn one, you get to use your agent, and every agent is different, and everyone says, your agent's broken. And then someone points over there and says, but your agent's broken. And that tells me they're doing it right when everyone thinks that everyone else's agent is broken.
Yeah, it's always a neat aspect in a game.
Yeah, asymmetrical powers.
And so the agent is an ongoing ability, or is it a one-shot deal? Or?
Every race is different.
Okay. Yeah.
Some races is tap or exhaust this round to use it once. Some agents are whenever you do this, you get to do this. So when I played Barony of Letnev, which in my mind is like old Soviet Russia, right?
Yeah.
Very militaristic. And every time that I sustain damage on a ship, I gain 2 trade goods or a trade good. And remember, the Barony of Letnev get to spend 2 trade goods to reroll combat dice.
Oh, okay.
So every time I'm taking damage, I'm getting money in order to be able to spend to reroll dice back at you. So it kind of built into that military theme. Then below the agent is your commander. So it says you can unlock this commander by doing X. So for mine, I had to have, I believe it was X number of dreadnoughts or something. Or a fleet size. I had to have a certain fleet size to be able to unlock my commander. And then my commander allowed me to do more damage to my opponents, right? And then below the commander is a hero. And then the hero is the same unlock objective for it. The commanders are different. Every faction is different. But for the hero, it seemed to be everyone I saw was once you gain your 3rd objective, right? So scoring points by public objectives or secret objectives.
Yeah.
Once you have your third objective, you can unlock your hero. And the heroes tended to have like a one-time game ability.
Wow.
Broken stuff.
Okay.
Fun, cool stuff. Like we had a player, she had a hero that allowed her to like blow up an entire system and turn it into a supernova. Like a hot sun. She was the Muat, the faction that comes from the sun. You remember the sun, the burnt embers people? Yeah. So she went over to Barry right in front of his homeworld.
Oh, boy.
And just obliterated his entire system, killed everything on it, and turned it into a sun where he couldn't move through it anymore.
Wow.
So, but she's the embers of Muat. She can fly through suns because they're all burning. They're fire. They're like people who run around in little capsules of fire.
Wow.
You know, look at me, I'm on fire. That's what they look like.
And so we got one here on the screen for this one race.
The Federation of Soul, the humans.
Okay. It says, so their ability is remove each of your command tokens from the game board and return them to your reinforcements. So it basically gives you a whole second... I wouldn't call it a turn, a whole second round of turns. You take all of your tokens.
Because you can't reactivate a tile on the board once you've activated it with a command token.
So this takes them all off and then allows you to keep them and then replay them. So
they go to your reinforcements, so back to your pool. You got to have them in your strategy.
That's not in. Oh, okay, that doesn't go back on your board. It's not that big. Then. Oh, okay, gotcha.
But it's still good because now you can go activate areas that you haven't been in before.
I could do the same thing twice. Yeah, cool.
But they're all named and they're all pictures from the artwork in the books. So it really, to me, it gave this sense of character to my faction that I didn't have before. Before, it was just a race. There's those people, right? That's what they were. But now it's not just those people. It's those people with so-and-so acting as their agent and their commander, and their hero. It felt good. It really added theme. It added another ring to the board. So at 7 and 8 players, you add another ring to the board.
That's
so it makes it bigger.
Yeah.
But it was great because it slowed people down from getting to Mechatol Rex.
Yeah.
Right, which starts the agenda phase with all the politicking, the part that I didn't like the most.
Yeah.
The politicking piece. So it really slowed Barry down from getting to Mechatol Rex. Because you know what Barry does.
Oh, he's going straight to Mechatol Rex.
Every time.
Yeah, every time.
But now it took him some more time to get there because there were more rings. But now there were reasons to stop on the way there. Places to go pick up and explore instead of going straight there.
So how much does that slow down the player interaction then? I would guess by a turn or two, you're going to be more spread out, right?
Well, you still have your neighbors.
Okay.
So there's always that rush to the side to establish your borders.
Sure.
Right. Hey, listen, I'm going to grab these tiles and you grab those tiles and we'll call that our DMZ, right? We're good.
Okay, yeah.
So that happened pretty quick.
Okay.
We all went sideways first and then we started slowly working our pizza pie in.
Except for Barry.
Barry. Mechatol.
Right there.
Mex Rex.
Funny.
Love you, Barry. So we had our neighbors and that really did, because it was a bigger board, because I was less likely to begin dealing with the people around there, it gave me more time to negotiate with my neighbors or establish conflict with my neighbor. So neighbor to my left, when it came to Ed Ward, I said, Ed, I'm sorry, you and I are just going to have to go at it. But when it came to my neighbor on my right, Steven, he and I, we traded plots, we traded alliances, we traded victory points. We said, look, we are working together, not together, but we are agreeing to not touch each other.
Not to mess with each other.
This is our dividing line.
Yeah.
That way you can kind of have that front. So.
And did that hold up for the whole game? Or?
It did for him and I.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because we both ended up in second and third place behind Barry. And we were just like a point or two behind. And if we attacked each other, we would lose a point. And that's huge. It really did prevent us from attacking each other till the end. Steven did end up winning it. I ended up in second place. But I'm fine with that. When you're playing with 8 people, second place isn't horrible.
No.
That's podium.
Yeah.
In a NASCAR race, that's podium. You're on the stage.
Well.
So all that to say this, folks. I know I went long-winded on it.
No, you're good.
I'm playing this again in about a week. I'm going to be teaching it. But I don't see myself doing this as an 8-player game.
Yeah, I know you mentioned that 8 players was a bit much.
Yes.
Yeah.
15 hours?
Oh, that's a bit much. I think it's anybody's book.
At what point did we get to bit much?
Yeah. Just a whole lot.
It took a while. It did. It had a great arc.
Yeah, well, that's good. I mean, and I know you always say if you come away with some stories to tell and recallable moments, then it's a good game. Whether it happens on the board or it happens in the conduct of the players. So
usually mostly in the conduct of the players.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Once you get to like that 12, 13 hour, those emotions really run high.
You start learning some stuff about some people. Yeah,
you do. You learn how people deal with conflict, and I think this game draws it out of you because it takes you out of your element. Yeah. It's no longer a situation where you're in a comfortable zone. Yep. You've been at the table for 14 hours and you are within a point or two of the leader. Yeah. What are you willing to do to get that win?
You're going to know some things. Yeah, that's for sure.
So one of my probably still my favorite game.
Yeah, it's on my list, but it's not my top 10. But it's just it's as I've mentioned to you many times. I mean, it's a game I'll play once, maybe twice a year, and I don't mind playing it, once or twice a year. I don't dread that, but if it was more than that, I think I probably would. Yeah.
Yep. And David Carlton, yes, those people, and what I mean by that, I mean the extra kingdom, those turtle people, those people.
Yeah.
But now they have people that go with them, little people.
Little people. Yeah.
Twilight Imperium 4th edition.
Yep.
With the Prophecy expansion. 2 thumbs up from me. Save the 8-player for the con.
Oh, sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Save it for the even the Dice Tower played it on stream.
Yeah.
I think they played 4 players.
4 players, yeah.
And they stopped playing
after it was 6 hours or 7 hours. They cut it short, yeah.
Hey, come on. Get gooder.
If you're going to get there, you might as well stick it out and play the last hour or two,
I think because they were used to playing games at 3, 4, 5 hours.
Probably.
And that felt like too much, but you got to finish.
Yeah, I would think. But I think they declared that somebody was far enough ahead that they just decided to call it. But
so I think MLK Day, Martin Luther King Day, is the day that I'll be meeting up at your turn to do maybe a 3 or 4 player version of it.
Okay, that's manageable.
To see how long does that take.
Yeah. Let me know how that goes, and again, we'll have to plan my annual playthrough of it sometime soon.
Once a year.
Yeah, well, there you go. We're running almost out of time here, but just real quick, I wanted to go down. We're not going to be able to talk about these games, but
let's go through them. I mean, if the phone line is still open, if you want to call and say hi, you can. But we got games we played, and there's one that I want to talk about.
Okay, well, I'm going to run through real quick. The other ones I picked up. So I mentioned Pandemic. I mentioned My City. I picked up another one. It was just a sale that I ran into over at GameStop of all places. They have some of their locations sell board games, and they were having a big slash on some of their stuff. And I found in their discount bin or their clearance bin 40% off God of War, the card game, which is a game that we got to test out before it actually even came out at the CMON Come On Expo. It was 2 years ago. Was it that long ago?
Yes.
Yeah. Gosh. Yeah. It's weird with the pandemic stuff going on, but we played it. We both enjoyed it. It wasn't. I certainly didn't. Wasn't at the top of either one of our lists coming out of there, but it was a fun game to play. I have not played it since I picked it up, but I grabbed that out of the discount bin about 2 weeks ago.
It stuck with me.
Yeah.
Right. Although I can't say it was like, oh wow, amazing. All I got to say is the story elements in that game and the way you interact with what feels like the world inside there, the way you interact with it,
the scenery
really stuck with me. It felt like I was playing a video game.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they did a really, really good job of bringing that feeling to it's a card game, but I'd call it a board game.
I've never played the video game. I don't know. I didn't know anything about this thing. Like Robert had to introduce me to the characters.
I've played and beat them all. So
right, I've never played it once, but just one playthrough of that board game, I walked away like, wow, that felt like playing a video game.
Right. I think that was their main goal, and that really shines through. I mean, it really does feel like that, and you actually have to look at there's little panoramas when you lay out the cards, and you mosaic. There you go. Yeah, you lay out a series of cards that kind of lay out a picture.
We haven't talked about that game in like 2 years, and that's how much that game stuck with me.
And it comes back, and you actually have to look for little things in the picture to kind of get an idea of, all right, I need to do this. I need to hit this thing to open this door to attack that monster. The monsters in it, they have different ways of beating them, just like they do in a video game where they have little you have to learn their nuances, the way to attack them, when to attack them, how to attack them,
when to shield up. Right.
Yep. That's all portrayed out in the card game God of War. So
goodbye.
Yeah. And my son is really into that too, so he's dying to play. So I'm sure we're going to break into that one soon. The last two I picked up were again on discount. I found another good deal on a Funkoverse game. I know that's not been your favorite. You've preferred the Undaunted, or not the Undaunted, the Unmatched series of games. They came out.
I tried to get into Funkoverse.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be the one.
I liked Funkoverse. I don't necessarily prefer one over the other, but I think now I'm kind of hooked on the collect them, got to get them all kind of thing. And so I've got most of the stuff that's come out, but I picked up the Rick and Morty, which I did not have that one. So that one was on sale for, I think, $12 again at GameStop in their clearance bin. So I was like, I got to pick that up. So it's normally, I think, $25. So it was like 50% off.
Well, I'm in, you son of a...
Yeah, so we're gonna try that. But and then the last one I picked up. This was for the youngest kid, the 8-year-old. He has been collecting Pokemon cards, but he has never played Pokemon. And as I surmise that probably many 8-year-olds do, he's just picked up cards here and there from friends and stuff, and they trade cards and they see characters that look cool. He has been completely oblivious on how to play the game. He's really had almost no interest in ever playing the game. But just recently, they came out with Pokemon Battle Academy, which is a starter set that teaches you how to play. It comes with a mat. It comes with a set of instructions. It comes with a walkthrough tutorial guide of how to play your first game. It comes with 3 starter decks that are already pre-built based on 3 of the main Pokemon characters. And we have not taken the shrink off of that one yet, but he's asked me each of the last 2 nights if we can break into that one, because he's anxious to learn how to play Pokemon. So
it's funny you say that. I went to Target the other night.
Oh, yeah.
And there was about a half dozen, but I would have said men, right? We're talking college age or more.
Oh, no, were they talking Pokemon?
Well, not even more. I mean, these guys were like outside of college age, and each one of them was out there picking up boosters and starter packs. It kind of hit me, well, wow, that game's been around a long, long time. That game's been around.
Yeah.
And it's got a staying power to it. I don't understand it.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a cuteness factor to it. Again, I think that seeing my 8-year-old, my older 2 kids never really got into it. Although I will say there was a time that my oldest, we did collect cards just because we liked opening the packs and looking at them. But neither one of us really had much interest in learning how to play the game. It was just a hot thing. But I think in the schools, I think a lot of the kids. One kid shows up with a deck of cards, and they start showing them to their friends. They've got the cartoons on TV.
Oh, we got a ton of the cards, but we never played it.
Right. Yeah.
Like collecting it was the big thing.
So I think that was the thing. I think a lot of people are just into, collecting it. They're just into checking it out. You see Pokemon, the video games and stuff now. And so I think it'd be interesting to see.
I tried to teach my kid who's going to be 18 this year.
Oh, yeah.
When he was, I think he was maybe 7.
Yeah.
Very young age. I tried to get him into it. So that game has been around. Let me know how you think of it as a grown folk playing with an older boy.
Yeah, for sure. We'll try that.
Because I almost bought one. Like I was watching them get all hyped up on it, and I was like, maybe I should try again with the next kid.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get all 3 kids to play. We'll see how it goes with the 17-year-old and the 15-year-old. But I'm gonna see. It was targeted at the 8-year-old though, so I'm gonna start him on it and see how it goes.
We got a comment in here from Wayne Kruger. He said he bought that for my kids, for his kids, as well. And the online game where you can scan it in the cards, and it works real well to teach it. So scan the cards in on the online version.
Okay, I've seen that.
And play it there to learn it. That's an awesome tip. Thank you, Wayne.
Yeah, appreciate that. That's good stuff to know. So I will definitely try that. Before I jump into my recent plays, do you want to talk about any pickups that you've had?
Recent play and pickup, baby.
Yeah.
Probably one of my new favorite games.
What's that?
Arnak.
Oh, Arnak. Yeah.
Lost Ruins of Arnak. So last episode that we actually sat here and talked, we had 2 phone calls that talked about Lost Ruins of Arnak.
Oh, yeah.
And then a little birdie came in my ear and told me that our local game shop, Armada in Temple Terrace, had it in stock. Mm-hmm. So, while we were talking, I'm over here. I am and Michael Fortino, please save me a copy. And apparently I scooped up the last one.
Yeah, it's been popular. It's been hard to find. Yeah.
Thank you, Michael, man. You're a savior, brother.
Yeah.
Got me my copy because we played it right before Christmas. Was it the Monday before Christmas? Yes. William, you, myself.
Been real close, yeah.
And was it a child of yours? Emmy. Your daughter.
My daughter, yeah.
Your daughter, Emmy. So we played here the Monday before Christmas. And when y'all left, I played it solo.
Yep. I saw you were setting it up solo as we left.
It was like 11 o'clock at night. Some late hour, and I was like, I want to play this again, but my friends are leaving.
So it was, I can't remember. It seems like that was like at midnight or 1 o'clock.
It was late.
Yeah.
But I got through it in like 30, 40 minutes a solo match.
Yeah.
I tell you what, folks, Legends of Varnak, or Lost Ruins of Varnak,
Lost Ruins, yep.
is a worker placement deck building
hand management
game.
Yeah.
Okay, Robert can talk mechanics. You are Indiana Jones, and you are exploring this awesome island. And this island has all these crazy sites that these sites will give you cool stuff and give you access to information that you can use to research the island to try to piece together what is going on this crazy island, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to take your 2 workers, never more than 2. And that's so cool compared to any other worker game. You get no more than 2. You take those workers and you put them on these campsites that are going to give you either ruby or tablets, or they're going to give you compasses, or they're going to give you gold or coins, right? And you're going to use those resources to buy or explore or to research this island. You have artifacts that you can buy, which give you instant access to an action or a thing. You have items that you can buy, which don't give you any instant access. They go to the bottom of your deck, but you get them later when you reshuffle your deck. You can research this temple on the right side that is going to give you access to assistance, will give you more actions or more combos. It's just combo. I mean, this game right here, to me, it is just. I just loved it.
Yeah, I mean, I played twice now, both times with you. You played one time solo, I think, so you've played it 3 times now, and we're both itching to play again. I mean, even though we've only played a couple of times, so a lot of games you could say that you're anxious to get back to your next play, but I feel like in playing through this twice, I've just scratched the surface on different ways to attack it, different strategies, different things to try out. So, I mean, this is one that I could play just about any time. I think, in probably just about any crowd. It's the mechanics are light enough and it's fun enough with all the different types of game mechanics in it, with the hand management, the resource collection, the deck building, the moving up the different tracks, the exploring different areas. I mean, there's something in it for just about anybody. And if you're an Omni gamer like I am, and you like all these different mechanics and all these different types of playing the game, different ways to play the game, there's a lot to explore here. And I mean, we call it Indiana Jones. I mean, it's basically the Temple of Doom. I mean, you're going in.
Kalima, Kalima.
Yeah, it's really it really puts you in the theme. And so me normally theme but this is one that gets me excited, and it makes me feel like I'm exploring. I'm trying to do different things. So
and part of the way they do the exploring, like what makes it feel like you're exploring, Carlos? I'll tell you what. The island is divided on as a picture on the board, right? And the board has this left side, which is all this craggy canyon-like rocks. Right, so it's the earthy side, and then the right side is the river that runs up through the island.
Yeah.
And you have to spend cars to drive through the left side of the board. So if you want to go to sites on the left side of the board, you have to spend cars. But if you want to go to the right side of the board, you have to spend boats.
Yeah.
And then some hand draws, you're going to have more boats than you're going to have cars, right? So you might have to spend, I don't know, a coin or a couple of coins to hire a plane, so you can go to either one of them. Yeah. So in my mind, I picture myself being directed to different avenues from our campsites onto the island, and then you open up and explore that spot, right? So you open that spot up, it tells you, hey, here's what it looks like, right? And it's got a beautiful picture. The artwork is gorgeous. Every single one of these tiles and cards I just want to stare at. So you open up this site, and I'm looking at this card trying to figure out, what is this? Is this a cave? It's a cave. I see a cave. I see some skeletons inside, and they're dead. What does it give me? Oh, I get some rubies, right? That's cool. But I also get fear. Well, I get it because there's some dead people in this game, right? But then after you explore the site, what do? You pop a monster on it, right? It could be a giant beetle, like the picture here. It's a giant scarab beetle that if you stay on that site but don't defeat the scarab beetle, you gain fear cards. Fear cards act like bad cards in a deck builder.
Kind of almost dead cards, yeah.
What do we call them in Dominion? They're
they clog up your hand.
Curse cards or something. So effectively, they clog up your hand.
Yep.
And you don't want them. So you have to find ways to get the resources necessary to defeat whatever monster that is. But then they give you like 5 victory points for every time you defeat one.
Yep.
So you kind of want to challenge yourself to go explore a new site, fight the monster, defeat the monster, and get the victory points. But if you push your luck and you don't get the resources you need, you're going back with fear, and that gives somebody else the opportunity to go over there, defeat the monster, and gain the victory points.
And one of the great things about another great mechanic or another great design idea in the game is that these cards that you're using in your hand are multi-use. You can use them for different things, like the one I've got displayed here. When you play this card from your hand, you can either use the action that's down here on the bottom. This one means that you can convert you can basically expend a compass to defeat a monster at your location automatically without having to. Normally, you'd have to spend 2 gold and an arrowhead to defeat this monster and bring him over to you. And one thing we didn't mention is when you defeat the monster, it gives you a one-time ability that you can pop sometime later in the game.
Like a bonus action of some sort.
Yeah, a little bonus. But on these cards, you can use them for the ability that's down in the lower part, or, again, we talked about the boats and the planes and the cars as far as getting around the island and doing your exploration. Up here, this one particular card happens to count as 2 boat icons. So if you use it for the boat icons to travel with that one, you don't get the ability down here. If you use it for the ability down here, of course, you don't get to use it for that. And then all the cards, as you collect them, are worth victory points. So there's 1, 2, 3, maybe even 4 victory point cards that you get in your hand. So at the end of the game, all these cards that you've bought up and acquired during the game count as victory points. It's definitely a point salad game, I guess.
Because what's the best way to win, Robert? Do I buy the most expensive cards that give me the most victory points? Is that a way? I've tried. My answer is no to that one.
Beat monsters?
Do I go up the research track to get to the top of the temple and gain victory points from there? Yeah. I've seen that be a good avenue. Yeah. Do I go for killing monsters? William did great with the killing monsters strategy. I think he got our win for the first game,
right?
And ended up winning that one. Yep. Or do I focus on exploration? Right? What do I do? Yeah. I love that.
And the components in this game are outstanding. I've got a picture up here that these are not upgraded components. There are some cardboard, which are nice thick cardboard components that you punch out. But then there also are these, at the top of the photo here is these tablets that are plastic tablets. They've got these plastic arrowheads. They've got these plastic gems that you collect. The tokens that you use, your characters that you're moving around are wooden meeples. All of the cardboard, again, is nice, thick. The cards themselves that you're playing with are the linen finish, kind of rough finish cards. So I'm sure lots of people will sleeve those. Here's some more pictures of those components. But yeah, even though you don't need to, I don't think necessarily, but the components in this game are outstanding. And as far as a price point on the game, do you remember?
I think it was like $54.
So not bad.
That is awesome.
For all the stuff you're getting in this game, that's a great
And
price.
The board is double-sided.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Double-sided board, so you can play a different side. There's a little darker theme to it. Yep. Completely changes the layout of the board, changes the whole game.
A little more challenging.
The solitaire in this is legit, like just awesome.
I know you enjoyed that, yeah.
The way the solitaire works is what it does is you build a stack of tiles which represent the actions that the player, the board will play, the solo mechanism will play. But each tile comes in 2 different variants, a green or a red. So out of those 10 tiles, there's a total of 20. You build a deck of 10.
Right.
I can vary how many red I slip into that tile bank for each action, because each action comes with 2 versions of it, a red and a green version. So I can build that difficulty in increments of 10%.
Okay.
Right? So each one that I change from green to red is another 10th of difficulty. So I played it on all green and I destroyed that player. Now I'm looking forward to playing it in all red to see how much they destroy me.
How hard it can get, you know?
Right. How much more aggressive will the game play against me? And then begin to find that balance of, I'm good at it at this, challenge myself to beat it. Oh, the staff here, folks. The tile tableau of cards that you're purchasing from, the artifacts and the items. The staff, the moon staff in the middle indicates the turn. And on the left side of the staff are your artifacts. On the right side of the staff are your items. Your artifacts begin with only one showing on the display board to begin with, right? Artifacts give you an instant, a way to use it. As soon as you buy it, you're using it, right? Then it goes to the bottom of your deck to maybe come up later again. The action or the item cards are cards that don't give you an instant action. They go straight to the bottom of your deck for later. Yep. But there's 4 of them shown on the display board. When we move to the next turn, we move that moon staff to the left. Now you've only got 2 or you now have 2 artifacts showing and 3 items showing. So you begin to see this transition in the game. Okay, so it's 6 total. You begin to see this transition in the game where you go from having just 1 artifact available, which gives you an instant action.
Yep.
And a whole bunch of items, which will come up later in the game.
Which you need early in the game, which is smart. Yep.
And then at the end of the game, when the moon staff has moved all the way to the right, there's only 1 item left, right? Which really you don't need because you're not going to see it again. You're not going to reshuffle your deck again. Right. But all the cards on the left side are now artifacts, and every one that you buy will give you something instantly. Right. It's this transition in the phases of the game that it just naturally did. I don't know whose idea that was.
Yeah, that was smart.
But that legit.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm excited. Great game.
Yeah, we can't say enough about this. I mean, this is one we're going to revisit. We'll probably talk about. We could probably do a whole show on this right now, much less when we play a few more times. So I have a feeling we'll be talking about this one again in the future. But yeah, that was definitely on my list of games here, recent plays to talk about. So big hit for both of us there with that one.
Yep. Just real quick, because I'm not going to bring it up next show. Cockroach Poker. We played you and your kids and my kids. Love it. Yep. Great game. Down in Flames. So the Down in Flames series from GMT is their 15-minute air combat card game. Mm-hmm. I played a few times with different folks. Mm-hmm. So got to play with Patrick, who destroyed me. And then I got to teach it to Rob and his son.
Right.
And I'm not sure how that went. Well, Rob destroyed his son.
My son was not a fan after we got done with that.
Because Rob destroyed him. But it's fast. You know, it can be played in 15, 20, 30 minutes tops because we play multiple matches. But again, GMT Air Combat World War II, that was what I played and I loved it.
Yeah.
What'd you wrap up what you played, Robert?
Just real quick here. I'm just trying to pull up the Down in Flames. Aces High, is that it? Down in Flames?
No, Blue Yonder. Wild Blue Yonder is the one I got.
Blue Yonder. Let me see, Down in Flames.
Yeah, GMT Games produces it. It might be under Wild Blue Yonder because it's a remake of, it's a combination now of multiple expansions into one. So they effectively redid the core set and added a bunch of expansions. I just bought a pack from GMT and it gives me another 100 airplanes. I now have P-40s.
Wow.
So Warhawks in there.
Not overdoing it, no?
No, just, it already came with like 400 airplanes and I got another 100.
Yeah.
Oh, this is gorgeous. The artwork is just gorgeous.
While we're looking at that, my recent plays, so you mentioned, we talked about My City, Lost Ruins of Arnak. We played the Great Heartland Hulling Company. That's a game that we have recently kind of fallen in love with. You've got a copy of that, and that's a great little quick 15, 20-minute game we can pull out.
Let me give a shout-out to William, who's in the comments. He said he thinks he got over 75 points in Arnak, and I believe he's right. I think it was probably 74 or 75.
He killed it.
I've got your card I got your
name in the box.
Piece of paper in the box. Although I was a little, I got your name still there, Willie. And then he reminds me that he and I did get to play Command and Colors Ancients during this time too.
Cool. Awesome. Great Heartland Calling Company. Good game. Just a quick little card a pick up and deliver game that we played several times. We got a chance to play that again. We introduced that to a couple of new people actually over the holiday, which was cool. Silver and Gold. You and I played that. We introduced that to my 2 older kids. So that's another little fun rolling right, flipping right, flipping right,
Flipping Phil.
Flipping Phil.
Flipping Phil.
Flipping Phil. Okay,
that's my buddy in college.
Flipping Phil. That was his
dorm
name,
roommates.
Phil. Used to call that guy Flipping Phil. Well, me and my daughter have started a game I've owned for a couple of years now, and I've talked about a lot, but had never really gotten into it. Chronicles of Crime, the original game box. Me and my daughter have played the first 3 London scenarios, and she mentioned after this last one, she's like, I really like playing this game. I want to keep playing.
Good.
And so they've got several expansions, and so we're going to knock out the last couple that are in the game box.
She says she heard her name.
Oh, is she on there? Oh, wow. Okay, she said she was going to try to listen.
Poppy loves you.
But I love you, baby. But so she is looking forward to that. We're really enjoying that. So we're definitely going to play some more Chronicles of Crime. And then another one we played on the holidays with you and with my 2 oldest kids, Trekking the World, which is a game that you have that you introduced us to. And that is a fun game.
We did play Trekking the World.
Yeah, so we could probably spend some time. That was on New Year's Eve.
That was good.
Yeah, we actually played that twice going into the new year. So that was a fun game. We were able to teach that to my 2 oldest kids, and they Enjoyed it, I think. I haven't talked to them a whole lot about it afterwards, but I think they both had fun. I know we played the first time, my daughter won, and then she was out. After that, she didn't want to play again because
She pulled a Dan.
She was one and done, 100%.
100%. I'm champ. I'm out.
So we
undefeated.
We played again. My son, my oldest son, my 17-year-old, was a little upset that he felt like he was getting picked on the first game. So we played again, and I believe he won the second game.
I think he destroyed us.
Yeah, I think he beat us pretty handily the second game.
Yeah.
So that was funny. He got his comeback, his comeuppance. So he enjoyed that. I think I finished twice both times we played that. So
That is a step, just a hair of a step over Ticket to Ride.
yeah.
But it adds a little more competitiveness because unlike Ticket to Ride, you can really block people in this one.
Oh yeah.
It's not like they have a choice to go do something else. No, you can block them where they can't move.
Yeah, there's usually a lot of outs, but yeah, I mean, if a couple people work together, they can block somebody and stop them from going where they want to go. So yeah, it can be a little mean, although I would say you kind of have to intentionally play it mean for that to happen. So I don't think that happens probably in most games.
Well, Arby would tell you it happened.
Oh yeah, he would tell you that it's he was just being picked on.
Artwork was beautiful. Every card behind it had a great narrative of the location you were in to talk about it. So it was like you're taking these tours, trekking the world, taking tours of beautiful sites around the world, and collecting souvenirs to gain those points. So you get points for taking tours of different places. You have to spend certain icons on cards to do that tour. And while you're traveling around, you're picking up different types of souvenirs, like craft goods. And then whoever has the most of that type is going to get bonus points, like longest road type stuff
at the end.
But then you're also going to get points for having sets of different colors of souvenirs.
On your little suitcase there. Yep, you just bring them on your little personal player board. Yep.
The last person to explore an area in a region is going to get bonus points. So there's a lot of different ways to get points in the game.
Yep.
It was a great game.
Yeah,
Trekking the world.
A lot of fun. It was light and it was quick too. I mean, I think we were playing probably an hour, less than an hour maybe per game. So even with 4 or 5 players, the one time we played, it didn't run very long. So
yeah, Armada loaned me this copy to do an unboxing component discussion on it.
Oh yeah,
yep. And I just said, can you just charge my account?
Cool. Yeah, that's always a good sign.
It's a great plan. I mean, as a retailer, just send me games, and more than likely, I'll just send you money instead of the game back.
Yeah, just keep the game. Yeah. Anything else you played that you want to talk about before we wrap up here?
No, I left my notebook in the room.
So
but
you had a bunch, I'm sure, but
mostly it was with you. The TI4 was the one that wasn't, because that's just not your bag.
It was good times. Yeah, I mean, like I say, we'll schedule my annual play. I played it probably about 4 times now total, and I think we've been playing it for about 4 years, so about once a year. Yeah.
Yep. Michael Armada says, and great artwork. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Great artwork
for trekking. Yeah. There. Yeah. I mean, you're seeing the images here we're showing. The artwork is outstanding, and the watercolor-esque. I mean, it looks like a painted photo or a painted picture on each one of these. So
it makes me the collector in me makes me say I think I have to pick up the National Parks version, which was the original one.
Right.
The original was National Parks.
Yep.
This is the second game from that company called Trekking the World.
I'd wanted to play the Parks version.
And it's got game trays.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this has a game trays holder, so it holds the components that trays inside trays.
Yep.
Inside trays.
Yep. to help store everything. And
trays with a Z.
Yeah, 1 or 2 that you use during the game, but everything. There's a picture of it here at the top where you store everything when you put it back in the box.
And a beautiful bag too.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that because you're using that bag to splay out all of the cubes
just at the beginning of the game.
The souvenirs, but they gave you a bag to be able to randomly shuffle them.
Yeah.
So
cool.
that one I recommend.
Yeah, 2 thumbs up.
Oh, and Blood Bowl. I played Blood Bowl.
Oh, you played some Blood Bowl?
I played some Blood Bowl.
Of course. Yeah.
My Dwarves versus Barry Kreitzer's Vampires. And I won 3-0.
Wow, another exciting game,
Sorry,
high-scoring 3-0 game of Blood Bowl.
But in football, what would that like? Give me the foreign exchange.
To be 21-0 and
there you go.
Yeah. So, all right,
I don't do football,
but anytime, even in a real football game, if somebody scores 0 points, it's a snooze fest. So.
It was Barry.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, anyway,
he's not a sports ball guy.
Moving on.
Yeah. Blood Bowl was great. And on that note, Rob, I mean we've done it was a bang out show, man. Bang up, bang out. I mean,
yeah, we went a little long there.
It was a banger, baby.
Almost an hour and a half, but yeah.
Multiple calls. We're going to do this again next week, 9 o'clock.
A lot of fun.
Expected 9 to 10, but if the calls, prevent us from getting our topics in, we can just sit a little later and give our topics in.
Yeah.
So on that note, please check us out on Beans and Dice Podcast, which is on YouTube. So Beans and Dice Podcast on YouTube. You can also find our audio versions and some of the audio podcasts on wherever you subscribe to podcasts on your channel of choice. Beans and Dice is what it is.
Very cool.
My name is Carlos.
I'm Rob.
And we're the Beans and Dice podcast, a podcast about
how we game.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for calling in. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, everybody.
Be safe, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks for watching the Beans and Dice podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe.